Good morning. All Saints' Day has always been special for me, especially when it was my Sunday to preach, for that gave me the opportunity to reminisce a bit and to talk about the saints who touched my life, those who shaped my faith journey and taught me by their example exactly what it means to be a steward of God's blessings. Quirky, unique, endearing, inquisitive, and generous saints. Wilhelmina Harrison, Banks and Joe Scarborough, Frank and Fran Jenkins. Saints whose financial generosity supported their congregation, their synod, and ministries beyond. Wilhelmina once asked a young man a question after worship. She asked what the difference is between seraphim and cherubim. That young man did not have a clue, but her question motivated him to find the answer and report to her another Sunday. It was later in life that the young man discovered that Wilhelmina gave the funds to construct the lake at Camp Lutheridge, the lake where campers swam and canoed long before there was a swimming pool at Lutheridge. Wilhelmina not only had an interest in the young people in her congregation, she was also interested in the youth across the church, blessing campers with a lake in which to swim and splash and remember their baptism. Perhaps it is at Lutheridge or Camp Agape, a Synod-sponsored youth quake, or ELCA National Youth Gathering, that a young person finds the answer to their questions. As faith is nurtured, as one discovers the unique gifts God has planted begin to grow and flourish. Special places and sacred spaces made possible by stewards and congregations of the ELCA. Frank and Fran gave funds to construct one of the married student apartments in Smith Village at Lutheran Theological Southern Seminary at a time when the Columbia, South Carolina campus desperately needed to replace aging, energy inefficient, and inadequate campus housing. Banks and Joe made sure there were funds in place to pay for a seminary intern in their congregation, a congregation that carried on that outreach for a number of years after their first intern from Southern Seminary arrived in 1998. Banks and Joe's generosity was a blessing to both seminarian and seminary, that critical year when classroom teaching and hands-on learning are sprinkled with an abundance of God's grace and love. All Saints' Day also provides an opportunity for me to remember my grandmother and my aunt, both who lived out their final years at Trinity Place, formerly known as the Lutheran Home in Albemarle. Yet another ministry of our church which touches lives and provides a safe haven for one of the most vulnerable populations, the aging. 7 more Lutheran homes are located across North Carolina, all supported by congregations, including APLC, as we share our blessings by sending a portion of our offerings to the North Carolina Synod. I give thanks to God for this community of faith, Abiding Presence Lutheran Church. I give thanks that we, as sisters and brothers in Christ, touch lives in Fuquay Varina and southern Wake County in our outreach, our ways of sharing Christ's love. I give thanks as we touch lives above and beyond this community by growing our benevolence to the North Carolina Synod and the ELCA. I am most grateful for all the saints, the great cloud of witnesses, those quirky, unique, endearing, inquisitive saints whose stories and generosities shine forth, stewards of God's blessings and love.